Hi, my name is Deb from DG Reads, and this is my spooky furry sidekick, Kylie, and she's all dressed up, ready to share my spooky season challenge TBR with you. Though it's definitely still summer in California, as in heat wave, as in living with the AC close by my side. It is also heading into spooky season, and I, for one, definitely am here for it. And to help us get into that spooky vibe, Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy has brought us the spooky season challenge. And this is a really fun challenge. She did a romantasy version recently as well, and you have different tropes and different things on the cover and different settings that you're trying to hit with the books that you're going to read for the challenge. You can try to hit everything in the space of just a few books, or you can add on more books to unlock and mark off different things. So I have a bit of a mix. I didn't quite get it down to 8 books to hit everything, but that's okay. It just means I have to read a few extra spooky books. So without further ado, let's look at what is on this challenge. So first up, we have an urban setting. For this one, I have The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim, and this is one I actually have already read, so I got a little bit ahead of myself, but it worked so perfectly for so many of these challenge prompts that I'm still definitely counting it. This book is set in Koreatown in Los Angeles, so it definitely works for urban. I listened to the majority of it on audiobook, so I'm unlocking audiobook with this one. And then I have, of course, eyeballs on the cover for the cover challenge. And in terms of bonus, it also works for Cannibal. This one I actually turned into a full vlog theme with eyeballs, which I had a ton of fun with. So I'm really happy that I got to pick up quite a few different books with eyeballs on the cover for that. This one is following a young woman. Her father has left their family. Her mother is dealing with mental health issues, partly due to that. And she falls in love with a white man who definitely has a bit of a fetish for Asian women. He's looking at any Asian woman, including this narrator and her sister, and he's not a great guy. The main character here, Ji-won, is obsessed with his blue eyes and begins dreaming about his eyes, and things go pretty dark from there, as you can kind of tell from what I said about what bonus I am using for this one. So this is one that was an interesting read. I did enjoy it in as much as you enjoy something about eyeballs, but it did lead into a fun vlog. Next up is summer camp setting, and for that I have Heads Will Roll by Josh Winning, and this one is a summer camp for adults, and the main character apparently tweeted herself into infamy and has been sent off to this camp, and from the cover you can kind of guess things go really badly. For this I am unlocking someone else's TBR because this one did make it on quite a few of the spooky challenge TBRs that I watched so far, including Cassidy's, so it works for that, and it definitely has a weapon on the cover for the cover prompt. For an isolated setting, I decided to go with Pink Slime by Fernanda Trias, and this one is a post-apocalyptic, almost dystopian, I guess, setting. There's an algae bloom. It's created these winds off the water that are spreading plagues among the people, and the setting along the coast becomes very isolated because A, you have to stay inside if the winds are up unless the fog is in, and you have to try to get away from the coast, and so the coast is becoming rather abandoned. So this one's only about 200 pages, so I am unlocking the novella prompt with this one. I think I probably could unlock water on the cover with this because of the pattern. Even though it's pink, it has to do with the algae bloom on there. And this is a gifted copy that I received from Scribner, so thank you to them for this one. And then for a small town setting, I have Incidents Around the House by Josh Mallerman, and this one is set in a small town according to the synopsis. I'm unlocking new release with this one, and I'm also using animal on the cover because even though it's stuffed, it's still a stuffed animal. I don't know a ton about this one. I've heard some mixed reviews, but I have really enjoyed Josh Mellerman in the past, and I know the narrative is from the perspective of a child. She lives with her parents, but there's also someone called Other Mommy who keeps asking if she will let her in. So I'm intrigued to check it out and see what I think. For a southern setting, I have Devils Kill Devils by Johnny Compton, and this is a gifted audio arc that I have from Macmillan Audio. Thank you to them. And this one is unlocking diverse rep. We have a Black author, and I think I probably could count this for hands on the cover because that creepy kind of claw hand definitely keeps standing out to me when I look at this cover. I don't know a ton about this one, but I did really enjoy the author's Spite House, so I've been wanting to read this one. We're following Sarita, who has always had a guardian angel, but then that guardian angel kills someone, and it reveals some secrets of what's going on behind the scenes, I guess. So I'm intrigued to find out. For a haunted house, I have The House Next Door by Darcy Coates. I love Darcy Coates, so I'm definitely eager to get to more of her backlist. From what I know about this one, the haunted house isn't really the setting our main character is in, but it's the house next door, hence the title. This one I will be getting from the library, so I'm unlocking the book that I didn't purchase. And for bonus prompts, I'm assuming there will be some ghosts, given that it is a haunted house next door. So we'll confirm that once I read it, but that's the plan. For a coastal setting, I have Haven by Mia Dahlia, and this is a gifted e-arc from ChemCat Books. And it might be a bit of a stretch. It sounds like it might be more lake-based than kind of typical coast, but it's a book that I am very intrigued to figure out. We've got a family going on a vacation to this house along the water. It's a house that's been passed down to them by some sort of mysterious relative. They have a whole month there, but something about the house is eating away at them and putting them on their last nerves, so it sounds like it could be a really good creepy time. So for Haven, I am unlocking new author, and for the cover, I have this one down for water on the cover. And then lastly, for In the Woods, I'm going to be reading The Lake House by Sarah Beth Durst. And this one is following a main character who's going to an off-the-grid summer camp. And she arrives late to find that there's really no one there. The only people left are herself and two other late arrivals. And then they find a body in the woods. They know something terrible has happened, and it goes from there. And this one is unlocking YA for me because it is a young adult novel. I could potentially also count this as windows because we do see some very bright windows, although they're small on the cover. So that's a possibility in terms of cover prompts as well. So then trying to hit some of the things that I haven't hit so far, I do have a few more books. So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. This was a gifted e-arc from Berkeley. I actually just finished this one. It will be in my Arc Attack video that will be either the one that just went up or the one that's going up right after this. Not 100% sure, but it's coming soon, one way or another. And this is about two women having a girls' night out, and they run into some vampires. So it's a perfect book for the vampires bonus, and it also has a very bloody cover, so it marks off blood on the cover for that. I also have Dead 11 by Jimmy Giuliano, and this one is one that I've had on my shelf for quite a while. I think I got it when it first came out, and I need to get to it. But it also will fulfill a few things for this particular challenge. For one thing, it's a VHS tape on the cover, and though that's rather outdated tech, it does work for tech on the cover in my mind. And it also has mixed media, so that also marks off one of the bonuses as well. I don't know a ton about this one, but it is set on an island that is strangely obsessed with the year 1994, and a woman arrives to look into the death of her son, I believe, so we'll find out more once I read it. If I don't want to count the hands on that cover of Devils Kill Devils, I definitely could count this one, which is A Cosmology of Monsters by Sean Hamill. This is one that I've had way too long. I actually just read Sean Hamill's most recent book and really enjoyed it, so it's upped my interest again to get back to this one. We're following a main character who can see monsters. His entire family has some ability in one way, shape, or form to see monsters as well, but they take it in different ways. His father's created kind of a entertainment thing out of it. His mother denies it. So I don't know a lot about this, but I do want to find out about it. And then I actually stole this idea from Lexie from Books with Lexie. In her TBR, she listed Girl Among Crows by Brendan Veo as a book about cults. And it's right there in the synopsis. I should have thought of it as well, but to be honest, I didn't. So this is one that I've received from Twisted Retreat. It's got a very pretty cover on it. It's one that I'm hoping to get to very soon. And that's really all I know is cults. Child abductions, 30 years apart, uncanny parallels, but no solid leads, only eerie reminders of a bloodthirsty cult that hopes to appease a Norse god. So really pretty cover. This would also, I think, very much work, just to show up right in the light, for animal on the cover as well, since we do have crows here, and looking forward to that as well. And then for serial killers, one that I really would like to get to, and I have it on hold at the library already even, is Shadowheart by Meg Gardner. This is the 4th book, I believe, in her Unsub series, and I've really been enjoying this series. And with this book, all I know about it is we've got 2 serial killers going head to head in competition, it sounds like, against each other. So that will definitely hit serial killer for this challenge. And then last but not least, if I don't count the windows on the lake house as my Windows prompt, which I feel like is maybe a bit of a stretch, the next book I have feels a little more solid in this respect, and that's We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cleaver. And this is one that I definitely will be reading very soon. It's a Patreon buddy read for Lexie at Books with Lexie, and it's one I've been hearing all great things about, so I am super hyped for it. My copy is en route and possibly out for delivery today, so I'm very much looking forward to this. And the way that the house is kind of carved up into images on the cover made it feel to me like the window was very prominent on the cover. So that's how I'm going with that interpretation. This one, we're looking at homeowners whose lives are turned upside down when previous residents show up. And that's all I know about it. That's all I really want to know about it going into it. It's a debut novel and I'm excited to read it. And that is it. That gives me a lot of really exciting books to get to, and I am so looking forward to being able to check everything off on this challenge. I do have a couple things already checked off. I finished So Thirsty. I finished Eyes Are the Best Part. I have a couple of these already on my September TBR, and I am planning to hopefully finish the challenge in October if I can. And technically this is set up with the idea is you can do it anytime. The idea is to try to do it within 3 months, aiming at September, October, November. So definitely plan to be done by then. I may even do a few more vlogs based on this, I think, or take some of these prompts and maybe turn them into themes. I'm really excited to look at some of these. A couple of them overlap things that were already kind of in mind for me to do, so I will be working on that. But for now, I'll go ahead and wrap up. Let me know in the comments below, are you participating in this challenge? Do you have any book recommendations for any of these prompts in particular? Have you read any of these books? Let me know all your thoughts, all the things. And if you've made it this far and you don't have anything to comment, give me a spooky emoji. If you could hit that like button below if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it, and subscribe if you're interested in more of my content and my reviews of some of these books. But for now, I will leave you here and I will see you real soon in a new video.